would it be telling the people who are reading?
Well, it tells us about the different beliefs of other cultures, our culture and cultures around the globe, in terms of different signs and symbols and archetypes and how they perceive what the meaning is of those things in their culture. It's a wonderful, it's an education for a lifetime, actually, this book, because it is historical, cultural, and it does have a dream dictionary as part of it. It has pages and pages of signs as well.
Wow.
You know, which
Maybe we could show that in the camera.
so it's a great reference book. It's a great reference.
Some of this looks Egyptian.
Yes.
There are animals.
These are from every culture, these signs.
Oh, I see.
And they're just alphabetical. You know.
So those are some of the
Some of those
clues
things
from the
look like
past.
They came off runes and stuff like that. Runes.
The ruins, the ancient, the
Yeah.
Egyptian.
Yes, well, the
cities.
Egyptians, supposedly ancient Egyptians were the first people to put together a manual, not looking like this, I'm sure. It was on papyrus paper.
Oh, sure.
And the parchments.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
And
But-
also, some of them, Greeks in Mesopotamia, they would put the symbols on this terracotta and put them on the walls as a remembrance. You got to remember now, the king was in charge. He wanted a dream. He wanted to see his city be the best. He wanted war. He wanted to conquer. And they would lay out different rooms in the palace. And can you imagine being a king, a special bed set up? You've got water, you know, the soothing sounds of water, the flow of the candles hitting the king at certain angles, the smells of the oils. And people today still use oil as almost like an aphrodisiac. Like you want to, it entices you to get into that state of mind.
Yeah.
They still do that, but the kings were the ones that really wanted to know what was going on.
Yes, well, they wanted to know about the future
Ah, the future.
and, you know,
Well,
what
that's why-
was
yeah.
laying ahead,
Yeah.
you know.
Do you think that our dreams, though, can tell us to expect certain things in our future?
They say that when a dream is very emotional, when it could even be somewhat disturbing, when there's something drastic that you feel about a dream, it could be one of the, it's precognitive prophecy, one and the same synonyms, that it could be one of those dreams.
It may be telling you to look out for something, or
Yes, yes, pay
an
attention,
opportunity, or a pitfall that you can avoid.
good or bad, and, you know, the idea to write it down and really think about it, because you might be onto something and maybe you can help somebody with it.
Especially if it's something that has some importance in your life.
Yeah, or in other people's lives.
I have
You
to
never
I
know.
have to talk about one more dream that has stayed with me, and I'm sure it'll stay with me forever. And that was a dream I had about Jesus. Now, I would never have expected to find Jesus in a dream, because, I mean, not that I'm not close to him, I am. I talk to him, I pray to him, and I have a lot of love for him. But in this dream, he was just standing there facing me, and I was feeling like very unworthy to be in his presence. And then he put his arms around me and pulled me close and said, "I love you."
Oh, wow,
And
what
so
a
I
nice
put my
dream.
arms around him, and that was so real. You have no idea how he was glowing and how he made me feel more worthy because of the fact that he was telling me he loved me.
Did you see the aura around him?
Yes,
I
I
did.
He glowed. Let me tell you, his garments were so white; they were whiter than white, and and glowing. I mean, like a white light all around him, glowing light, and it was the most beautiful dream I've ever had.
When he sort of hugged you,
Yes,
did you
I
feel
felt
the
it.
warmth?
I felt it. Yes.
Oh, that's good. So you
I
using
felt
the
it.
senses, and also colors. You remember the aura, the
Yes, I remember a lot of gold light and white light, and the
nice.
white garment, and how he glowed and how he felt. Yeah.
How'd you feel when you woke up?
When I woke up, I felt very calm. I felt very loved. I felt good. That it was a time in my life where I wasn't really feeling that good. And it was, I guess, a time when I really needed him to come to me and give me a little bit of confidence that, yeah, you are loved and you can go on and you have work to do and just go ahead and do it. I'm with you.
Sometimes you need that.
Yeah, well, it came at a time in my life when I did need something like that.
You were maybe looking for something, and,
Yeah.
and he just came into.
He was there. It was him, and it just felt so real. It really did.
Do you think? Did he speak to you, or
He just said, "I love you." That's all he said.
when he touched you, was he transparent? Like you could?
No,
he was
I could
real.
feel him like he was real. I
You can
felt
still feel him
flesh.
now, right?
Yeah, I felt him, and he put his arms right around me and pulled me close because I was kind of standing back, and he just put his arms around me and pulled me close to him, and looked down and said, "I love you," and I said, "I love you too, Jesus," and that was the whole thing. But it was a beautiful feeling.
Yeah,
That's really called a big dream.
Oh yeah.
Yes, it's called a big dream, and we don't have very many of those. But love, a powerful love, ecstasy, extreme, the greatest love that you could be feeling in your life would be coming through in a big dream, so to speak.
Well, what's the difference between, well, if there's a big dream, then there are small dreams,
Yes.
too?
all types of dreams.
Yeah,
So was
big
it-
dreams, they're the huge Technicolor extravaganza.
Jesus was a big dream, but was Ronald Reagan a big dream?
I don't know.
No,
He had
I
the
don't
limo though, so
I
that's
mean,
pretty
you would know
big.
best. You would know best, but this seems as though it was a visitation. It could have
Yes.
very well been
I am
truly
convinced.
a visitation.
I am convinced, yes.
What a person
And-
to get in a dream.
I was surprised, too, let me tell you.
Isn't that incredible? I never dreamt like that.
I'm not surprised.
You're not?
She's probably heard it all.
No, Chris, being who she is,
Thank you.
I'm not surprised.
Very spiritual person,
Yeah.
and she wants to explore the spiritual realm.
And I like to share it with everybody, too, and that's why I do this show, so that I can share it.
Were you doing the show at the time?
I don't believe so, no. I think it was quite a long time ago. It was before the show. Yeah.
It was probably a thought, though, of doing some kind of a show like that.
Maybe somewhere in the subconscious, but and maybe that's what he was telling me. Who knows?
That's what I'm thinking. It was encouragement, too.
Well, I know that I'm doing this and that it is blessed because of the fact that I continue to do it. I always have a wonderful guest coming in like yourself, and I always have people that help me, which I appreciate. And so I know that the show is something that I'm doing. I'm on the right track.
Yes.
Because it goes pretty smoothly for me to do it, And I know because also when I see a lot of people out there who recognize me and tell me that they enjoy the show and that they do get information that they wouldn't normally get.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know of any other show.
Right. So
Such as this,
so I know that I'm
know.
doing something good and something
Yeah.
right and something that it's good for my karma and good for everybody to be able to enjoy the information that I'm enjoying, and I like that because I love people and I like to share things with them.
You do learn a lot, and for each guest, everybody's unique.
That's right.
Everybody
Everybody
would
has
have
something
their
to
own-
contribute. Yes.
their own thing, and I've gotten a lot of insight on that too. I'm usually behind the camera, but
Right.
I just wanted to talk about the dreams. Now,
Yeah.
one thing I just want to bring up also, if we bring in astrology into this, astrology has a lot to do with dreams,
Really.
a lot. And what better signs are the water signs that really play on emotions, bring it out into the subconscious and bring it out?
I'm a water sign.
I know you are, Chris. I know. But so
Yeah.
are we.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're water signs
We're
also.
all water signs.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
Now,
That's why we're getting along so well.
I know.
well, Pisces people, we're Pisces. We're
both
just
Pisces?
talking.
Yes.
That's the astrological sign of the dreamer.
Really?
The prophets, a lot of them were in the water signs, but a lot of them, King Neptune water, the ruler of Pisces. They would explore the unconscious part of the brain, and it's more based on emotions than anything.
And intuition also.
Intuition, second
Yeah.
sight,
Yeah.
the sixth sense.
Yes.
It brings it all out because the water signs are dying to express their emotions. You've got, you know, your business people, and you've got different types of people in all avenues. But nobody talks about emotions, you know, unless it's brought forth. And I know Susan, she brings this out in her, some of the sessions. Maybe you could just tell the audience about the sessions. What happens during these moments when people come to see you? What happens?
Well, I think it frightens them at the beginning, to tell you the truth. It frightens them a little bit because they're learning about themselves through dreams, and you know, this isn't a common occurrence. It's something that is, they know about dreams, but they didn't realize how powerful maybe a dream could be.
Yeah.
You know, they are taken aback by what they learn about themselves, and they're the ones bringing it forth in their own dream. You know, I'm not telling them. It's they're putting it together. I'm guiding them to do it.
Just to take
You
the
know.
first step is hard.
Oh yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
Chris, I'm sure you don't talk about your dreams every day,
No, I don't.
but we all brought up, you know, different aspects of dreams, and all of a sudden you talk about it, and you're trying to figure it out. The symbols, why it happened, what can be done about it, and what are the goals of the future. Is that what you do also in your sessions?
The goals of the future, always. I always work on the past, the present, and the future.
Because you think
In
feel
every
like
session.
the dreams can tell us about the past and the present and help us to
And then we learn,
see
and
the future.
you know, whether we're transforming into something else, or you know, that we're always taking another direction. We're constantly changing, you know. So just having someone there to work with you, and you know, kind of keeping you on a path so that you continue to do what you need to do for yourself and continue to pursue your goals. And I believe we have a life list, so continue to pay attention to your life list inside, and because those things are not going away.
And you think that our life list influences our dreams
Oh yeah, I think so.
and tells
yeah.
us, like
Yes.
the baby possum dream that I had, telling me that there's ideas that I have that I can make them happen.
And it's also an awareness. Now you bring it right out in front of you. Now, if you're really set on doing something, you can sort of think about what happened and then go on from there. And I'm sure the people that you talk to, I mean, sometimes the dreams aren't good, so you know you have to work around that. But a lot of the times, if it's a positive thing, it's great. It's a great feeling.
And they do get rid of that negative dream too. Stops.
I only had one nightmare in my life that I can recall.
Whoa, okay, we got to
And
listen
that
to this
was
one.
when I was 10 years old, and it was right the night of the afternoon that I made my first visit to a funeral home to see a person that was laid out. When I was in grammar school, and the custodian of the school passed away like 2 weeks into the school year, and the teacher said, well, it would be nice if some of you kids went and paid your respects. So it was my very first experience, and I had this really bad nightmare that night because it kind of really did scare me. I was only 10 years old, and I went there only with a bunch of other kids from the class. I wasn't with an adult or anything, you know. We just went to the funeral home. And I had a dream that was very similar to the poltergeist thing, where all the coffins are coming up out of the ground and they're opening up and you're seeing the dead people. That was the kind of dream I had that night. But it was the only real nightmare that I ever recall having.
Well, you were young there too.
And I was very young.
You
and
didn't have your
impressionable.
mom?
No, my mother wasn't with me.
So you're there alone.
I don't even think she knew I went to a funeral home that afternoon.
That's
And what would you want to do with that nightmare now?
Well, it doesn't scare me anymore you know. It did back then. It was very frightening back then. And it did influence my ability to go to a funeral home to see a friend or loved one or a relative that passed since then. Now I'm all completely over all of that. I can handle it now. But back then, it did influence me for many years. I was not able to step foot into a funeral home.
And a lot of times, right after someone dies, people dream about the funeral parlor, coffins, the cemetery, the burial. You know,
All that, yeah.
It's so powerful being that close to death.
Yeah.
You know, and being around someone who is deceased, and meanwhile their spirit is probably, you know, right above saying, "Don't worry, I'm fine, I'm fine."
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
people pick that up in funeral homes all the time, you know. But yet that being around the conventions of death are very stark, you know. And it's really not what death is all about in the big picture anyway.
Right.
Sure, it always makes an impression.
Yeah.
And then you're
does.
missing the person, even if you don't know the person well. We've gone to a few of them, some of the producers that have...
passed from here,
It
yes.
just hits you, and especially if they're young.
Yes, we had a few young people in their 40s that died suddenly, and it was definitely heartbreaking.
It just seems that God takes all the good ones when they're young, you know? Only the good die young, they say.
Yeah. Well, I have some dream catchers to give to you tonight.
Yes, you have to tell us about these are beautiful.
And
Thank you.
these actually come from the Indians in Sedona.
Yes, tell us about the
So-
dream catchers and what do they
Yeah,
do for us?
Well, you know, these are designed to be necklaces, but I would say to even hang it in over your bed.
Right.
You know, you can use it as a true dream catcher. It's decorative wearing it around your neck.
It's a beautiful
But
thing.
to be
It
useful, there's two ways of looking at dream catchers. One is the web inside the circle catches the dreams that are negative, the bad dreams, and maybe just lift it up a little.
Yeah, they showed it.
Sure.
Yeah.
And
It is.
the
Oh, you got it
dreams.
on
This is really Native American lore, that the bad dreams come in, and other cultures too. I think the Aboriginal people, a lot of Native people from around the globe have a similar concept. So the web catches the negative aspects of any dream coming through to protect you.
And it just lets the good dreams through
Yeah.
and holds
Yeah.
on to the bad dreams.
Yes.
Now tell me, does it ever get full of bad dreams, or you have to empty it, or?
As far as I know, you're supposed to empty it periodically.
And how do you do that?
But I don't know. Honestly, I've had my dream catchers up for such a long time, and I haven't emptied them. Now that you're mentioning that.
I have a question here. That little stone is smaller than this one. I guess I have a few bad dreams in here. I don't know. I got the one with the big stone. I don't know.
Well,
Yes, you got a little stone.
so
And there's
They're both very
another
pretty.
belief that's
Beautiful.
more in the positive light, that the circle draws spirituality to you when you're dreaming.
What's the
Oh.
stone?
And the stone in the middle would be similar to the center of a mandala, the ultimate universal spirituality, the path beyond even where we are.
yeah, I did a show recently about the
I know, I
mandala.
did see that. I loved it.
Thanks.
I
Thank
loved it.
you.
And so we have the stone here. So in that way, so we're bringing in the spiritual energy and into the dream catcher, and it's becoming even larger in the center and more powerful. So can't go wrong with that. Either
No, this
way,
is beautiful.
either
Now,
way
thank
that we
you.
look at you're welcome.
The dream
You're
catcher is a
welcome.
Native American invention, I guess, for lack of a better word.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. It's very
Yes,
pretty.
it's
It's
pretty.
very nice.
Yeah.
I just want to touch upon, and I want to thank you.
Oh,
Yes,
you're
thank
welcome.
you very much.
My
It's
pleasure.
so pretty. I'm going to wear this.
Some people, we should just talk, because I see the the time.
Yes.
If people wanted to really get into the dream world, there are ways. First of all, you have to keep your journal, but you have to
Yes.
train your mind. And one of the things you can do is take a suggested picture like this one. And this shows the depth. It's a suggestive picture of, if you train your mind for minutes, if you're looking at this until you're almost asleep over a course of a few days, as you're starting to dream, this picture will come into your mind. Now, I'm reading this in the book, but I tried it. And what happens is your mind goes into this darkened stage, and this picture will come into your mind, and you can go right into another dimension.
Yeah.
Now that particular picture, or
There are other ones, but this one came with the book of dreaming. It works.
really?
I think it's because it's the light. It's similar to the third eye that you have at the beginning of your show, the light.
Right.
You know, it's something that we do remember, and we want to hold on to it. We want to go further into it. You know, we certainly don't want to turn away from that light. We're willing to,
So it's almost like the light at the end of the tunnel.
yes, and go through.
Go through
Go
and
through to
see
the other
what's on
side.
the other
So
side.
now it's when
Yeah.
you're dreaming,
Yeah,
you go
I think
through
so.
and see what's on the other side?
Well, you know, you're kind of talking about something that would be called lucid dreaming.
Sure.
Where you're giving yourself a suggestion and you're going to be bringing it into your dream and you're going to remember it. You know, in lucid dreaming, the part of the brain is conscious, and then the other part is in REM, rapid eye movement, dreaming state, sleep. So the person who's in a lucid dream is able to control what is going on in their dream at the time, which we've been talking about a little bit.
Right. I know
tonight.
that they said that you can control what's going on in your dream, but I don't recall ever having been able to do that. As far as I can see in my dreams, things happened the way they happened, and I had no control over it.
Right. Some people are naturally lucid dreamers.
Yeah.
They're born being lucid dreamers. And other people, you can work on it if you want to. And that would be one of the methods to take. Another method would be you wake yourself up during the last period of your dream state, your REM period. Let's say maybe about 5:30 in the morning.
About 2 hours before you're
Yeah.
rising.
Yeah, 2 hours.
So now you're
Wake
awake, but you're
wake yourself
tired.
up, and then you tell yourself that you're going to go back into your dream, but this time you're going to be conscious of being in the dream. And you're going to remind yourself once you're in there that you're dreaming, but you're aware at the same time. You know, so lucid dreamers, they can create.
So they know that they're dreaming when they're dreaming.
Yes, yes,
Uh-huh.
yes. And you know, there's benefits, and then there's a downside to it as well, because they're not getting the true rest that someone who doesn't lucid dream gets. You know, because supposedly when we're in the dream state, REM, the rapid eye movement period, our memories are being consolidated and proteins are being produced in the body that we need to be healthy. That's why we call it beauty sleep. People look better. You know, there's
Well,
all
after
kinds
being
of...
rested, sure, you don't have the bags under your eyes.
Right. There's a lot of benefits to the REM sleep where lucid dreamers are losing out on that a little bit, but alternatively, they're strengthening their mind. So if we look at Tibetan Buddhism, and that period when people go from sleep, from death to life, or from life to death, you know, from life to death, they need to keep their minds very, very strong and clear so that they can deal with the illusions that are presented to them on the journey. That's
Absolutely.
similar to lucid dreaming. You know?
What about a very active dream? Like years ago, one night I remember dreaming that I was running all over the city. I was in the city, and I just kept going and I was on foot. So I went from here, and I don't know where I was going, if I was going to stores or whatever, but I woke up knowing that I had been running all over the city and I was exhausted, as if I had spent the whole night running all over the city. Now, could that have been an astral projection of some sort, maybe? That's why I was so tired when I got up, because I was really doing it.
In your
Well.
mind, definitely the mind was overworked in your dream.
Yeah, right?
You woke up even being tired from the exercise.
Yeah.
Gee,
From running all over the place and being active. It was a really active dream where I was.
did you see yourself running, or were you literally
I was
running?
literally feeling like I was running all
You
over
were
the
running.
city.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would say
And-
your mind was running just the same as it would in waking life.
Uh-huh.
And your mind was going through the whole process of running just the same as if you were awake. And
Which
so
proves that what you mean that you need mental rest as well as physical rest.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
I just want to touch upon one thing. If people are interested
Yes.
in dreams, what kind of information could they get?
Sure. Okay. Well, there's the international. There's the Society for the Study of Dreams.
Okay, so maybe the camera can take a
which-
look at that.
Puts out a publication.
Okay, and we're gonna put here. We'll put it over
Wherever
here.
you are. That's
There
good.
we go.
Dream time.
Yes, and there's also a dreams journal that comes out that's more of a
He
scholarly.
said put it towards camera 3.
Okay, we're gonna switch over.
You can learn about dreams if you can join this group. It's a large group. It's international.
Do they have a website?
Yes, their website is www.asdreams, so it's asdreams.org. And that would be worthwhile to
Here's one more.
take a look at that
The
organization.
Temple of Dreams. And maybe, well, if people are interested, they can contact Christine at the CTV.
Yeah.
And this is another organization that they study all kinds of psi experiences. They try and they work to document.
Okay. All right. The time's going by. What's
Okay.
the name of this book?
This is the Journal of the American Society for Psychical Research. Right now, they're doing, if you go on their website, they're doing a survey all to do with 9/11 still.
Okay.
Dreams and 9/11.
We'll have
And
to
in the
pick up
meantime, yes.
with this,
Yeah.
with the 9/11 attack on American freedom.
That's right. You pick it up with that. That's
I'll
a
be
good
able
idea.
to get the data on that as well.
Great.
But in the meantime, I'd like to thank both of you for coming on the show. It's been
Thank
so
you.
interesting.
It has. It's been very.
I learned a lot about dreams that I didn't know before, and I'm sure our audience has too. And we want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. Have a good night.